Good morning, 12I. This is your captain speaking. I want to take the time to thank our Year 3s, our wing commanders, and our Year 3s who planned the games for today. Had there been no COVID-19, we will be having these games face-to-face about once a month and coming together as a company to sing the company theme song. Notwithstanding, even during these difficult times, I'm very thankful that our company administration have rallied together to put something together for all of you, boys and primers, something that we can enjoy together as a family. And so, I'd like to make a couple of announcements as we close the year with this last parade of 2021. First up, the 12 group Thanksgiving service. In 1 Thessalonians 5, we're told to always give thanks. And even through these difficult situations, there's always something to give thanks for. The 12 group, which means the ACSBB companies, 12I, 12 Barker, 12 Barker Junior, 12 Junior, and 12 ACJC primers, one whole 12 group. We will be coming together online to celebrate God's faithfulness. And so this is the program. It will be on 11th December, Saturday. It will be between 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We'll be having this service and we really want to encourage you to come. We will be giving out Grab food vouchers to those people who stay throughout, just like as if it was an enrollment service and there'll be a buffet. But we really want you to come because we want to come together, we want to pray together, and we want to celebrate God's faithfulness. Next up, we want to build a culture of honor in 12I. And as you know, there are a great deal of people who work tirelessly behind the scenes. And 12I is so big, sometimes you don't know who they are. And these people work really hard without recognition or reward. The Bible says, for those who honor God, God will honor. And today we'd like to honor these people. 12I has to be geared to the times. And social media plays an important role in engaging younger stakeholders such as yourselves. The social media team and 12I photographers have helped to create that online presence for 12I. But that's not the main objective of social media, to create online presence. It's not to make ourselves look good, but to showcase what God is doing in the company. We want to give Him the glory. And so it's run by both our boys and our primers, and we will be blessing the social media team and the photographers with a $10 Grab food voucher for their service. We're always looking for more people to add content and to bring your stories to Instagram. So if you're interested, you can just let your officers know. They'll definitely link us up. So you can follow us through the QR code or you can find us at these links. And so, I present to you those people who have helped to build our social media pages, both Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Corporal Dylan Chan, Corporal Lucas Chia, Corporal Michael Yo, Staff Sergeant Oliver Teo, Corporal Marcus Kang, Cadet Lieutenant Samuel Sim, Cadet Lieutenant Ko Kai Yi, Cadet Lieutenant Brian Sung, Cadet Lieutenant Xiao Yile, Cadet Lieutenant Eber Fu, Cadet Lieutenant Zachary C, Cadet Lieutenant Candace Choi, Senior Cadet Lieutenant Matthew Yong, Senior Cadet Lieutenant Elizabeth Low, Senior Cadet Lieutenant Tam Tia Si, Senior Cadet Lieutenant Jericho Wong, Senior Cadet Lieutenant Samuel Song, and Senior Cadet Lieutenant Tobias Lee. Next up, photographers. Photographers play a very important role. Some people say they just take photos, but they're really capturing moments, they're really capturing memories. And I hope that these will last you a lifetime, and this will really capture the essence of your youth. And so our photographers are Lance Corporal Julian Chua, Lance Corporal Eugene Ko, Lance Corporal Chen Shengxu, Lance Corporal Jethro Kwang, Lance Corporal Benaya Si, Corporal Michael Yo, Corporal Jordan Tan, Sergeant Kenan Neo, Sergeant Sean Xia, Sergeant Marcus Kang, Cadet Lieutenant Xiao Yile, Cadet Lieutenant Eber Fu, Cadet Lieutenant Zachary C, Senior Cadet Lieutenant Ng Jie Yang, Senior Cadet Lieutenant Matthew Yong, and Senior Cadet Lieutenant Jericho Wong. And next up we have our teachers. Now you only see your teacher in charge, but all these teachers work very hard and they work in tandem, in harmony together, and they tire laboriously behind the scenes while juggling their teaching duties. They work very hard. 12I, let's honor them. First up, we have Mrs. Elaine Lui, our teacher in charge. Mr. Wilson Wan, our Deputy Officer Commanding, or DYOC. He's also the Year 4 teacher in charge. Miss Crystal Lee, our band teacher in charge. Miss Rimjin Raylan, she's our Year 1 teacher in charge. Madam Lin Yu Hong, she's our Year 2 teacher in charge. Mr. James Tan, our Year 3 teacher in charge. Miss Li Yuexia, Year 5 teacher in charge. Miss Sheena Sutherland, she's Year 6 teacher in charge. Mr. Gareth Tan, band advisor. Mr. Jonathan Ng, Year 1 teacher in charge, also the advisor to captain, and he's also an ex-captain. Dr. Andrew Yong, our deputy principal, also an ex-captain, and he's also an advisor to me, the captain. And let's not forget our 12I officers. These officers do a lot of work and they seldom get any thanks, but we're really not in it for a treasure. We're here because we're called by God to sow, and so we want to continue to sow into your lives, however long the Lord calls us to. And so as I read these names, some of them will be repeated because they're teachers, some of them will be pastors, but nonetheless, all of them here are officers. We start off first with Reverend Willie Watson, Reverend Khoo Kay Huat, Reverend Alex Chu, Mr. Tai Ming, Dr. Andrew Yong, Mrs. Elaine Lui, Mr. Jonathan Ng, Mr. Aaron Goh, Mr. Ainsley Liu, Mr. Brian Wong, Mr. Gareth Tan, Mr. Isaac Lee, Mr. Oliver Loke, Mr. Tan Junwei, Mr. Trin Tran, Mr. Wilson Wan, Mr. Aaron Heng, Mr. Benjamin Goh, Mr. Cheng Jingyan, Mr. Chu Zhenyang, Mr. Darrell Lim, Mr. Elliot Mok, Mr. Elliot Ting, Mr. James Hong, Mr. Jarrett Khan, Mr. Joseph Lai, Mr. Joshua Ong, Mr. Mark Cheong, Mr. Matthew Tan, Mr. Matthias Liu, Mr. Ryan Chong, Mr. Samuel Wang, Mr. Timothy Chong, Mr. Timothy Lim, Miss Elizabeth Leong, Miss Megan Chong, Miss Rachel Koh, Miss Xin Yan Yi, Mr. Brendan So, and Mr. Ng Ming Yan. And now to our special mention for officers. I'm sorry I didn't put all the photos of our officers. Believe me, I have all the silly photos of the officers. But we want to make special honorable mentions to these 3 officers. So let's start with Year 3s. Pay attention. Okay, for your next year's Year 1 OIC, who you'll be working closely with, it will be Mr. Timothy Lim. Mr. Timothy Lim is a very distinguished officer. He used to be the deputy. He used to be the DYCSM. He will take really good care of you guys, and he really hopes to look forward to working with you. And next up for our Year 4s, we want to pay attention to Mr. Benjamin Goh. He will be the next Year 5 OIC, or the Primus OIC. So Year 4s, I'm sure you know him as Mr. Extreme Orange, and he's a YouTuber. Yes, and finally we have Mr. Brendan So. Mr. Brendan So will be coming on board also as an officer in 12I. So 12I, I present to you all the special people, and I will see you next at the 12 group Thanksgiving service on 11th December, Saturday from 9 AM to 12 PM. See you there. Thank you for watching.